With the recent announcement of Animal Crossing coming in 2019, on top of all the big first party titles we already have or are confirmed to be getting, some people have been like, wow, we've pretty much already got a new title for every big Nintendo first party franchise on the Switch. Well, not quite. So in today's video we're going to look at 5 big first party Nintendo franchise still to be confirmed as getting new games on the Nintendo Switch. As always, if you do go on to enjoy today's video, go ahead and smash that like button, subscribe to the channel for a new Nintendo video every Wednesday at 7 PM UK time, and feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments section down below.
The Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze game.
Yes, the masterpiece that is Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze has been available on the Switch since May this year, but as it's a port from the Wii U, we have decided to include Donkey Kong Country on our list. This is an exception on the list though. It's been nearly 5 years since Tropical Freeze initially released on the Wii U. Retro Studios did an amazing job with the challenging gameplay, picturesque levels and immersive music, so we just can't wait for more platforming action of the Donkey Kong Country variety on the Nintendo Switch. The worrying question for DK fans is whether the port of Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze earlier this year means an actual sequel is likely anytime soon. Hopefully we get to see DK jumping off platforms and swinging from branches in a Donkey Kong Country sequel sometime no later than 2020. Yes, we're here again, the part of our weekly Nintendo video where I ask you a question related to today's topic. For this week's question, I decided to look back into the history of Nintendo and more specifically to their founding back on September 23rd, 1889. Although we now know Nintendo most predominantly for games, consoles and the amazing first party titles they create, like some of them on this list, obviously back in 1889 there simply wasn't the technology to build a TV, never mind a Switch. So this week's question is, what was Nintendo originally set up to trade back in 1889? If you know the answer to this question, go ahead and let me know in the comments. If not, make sure you stick around because I'll share the answer with you a little later on in the video. In at number 4 on this list, we've got Pikmin. My god, how much do we talk about this on the channel? It's been over 5 years since the last Pikmin game, 2013 for those of you not so good at maths, and it's got to the point where I'd have even taken a port of Pikmin 3 at Nintendo's September Direct. Pikmin is undoubtedly my favourite Nintendo franchise, and the prospect of a new game is one of the biggest reasons I purchased the Switch. Pikmin 4, which was apparently very close to completion 3 years ago, has proven particularly elusive to us fans, and with some worries that last year's Hey Pikmin was in fact Pikmin 4. I don't think this is likely though. Us Pikmin fans are still waiting on news of a proper new Pikmin game and look likely to wait at the very least another year to finally play as Olimar and Co on the Nintendo Switch. Number 3 on this list is Super Mario Maker. For the purposes of this video, we're going to suggest a new Super Mario Maker on the Nintendo Switch, though a port of the Wii U game would be very welcome as well. I mean, how different could it really be? Although not a classic game or one with a long history like some of the titles on this list, this game was incredibly popular on the Wii U, selling around 4 million copies worldwide. There's certainly a hunger for Super Mario Maker to come over onto the Switch, and a new 2D Mario game is always welcome. However, with new Super Mario Bros. U being ported to the Switch in January of next year, we can't see Super Mario Maker appearing on the horizon anytime soon. If the game does come, and eventually I can't see why it wouldn't, I can see it will be late 2019 at the earliest, although 2020 feels a little bit more realistic and probably under a title such as Super Mario Maker 2. Basically, not a simple port of the original. Star Fox is one of Nintendo's classic franchise, with the first game appearing all the way back in 1993 for the SNES and the latest one, Star Fox Zero, arriving on the Wii U in 2016. However, the Star Fox team have yet to get their own title on the Switch. Although they have recently appeared on the console in the recently released Starlink Battle for Atlas, they are yet to really have a sniff at a game of their own. Well, apart from the now long rumoured Star Fox racing game, which wouldn't be a real Star Fox title, would it? Then again, the franchise has often felt all over the place, so why not? I'd really love to see a proper Star Fox game on the Nintendo Switch, but if we do, there really needs to be a good long think about what the game looks like and its structure. I've said this many times before, but the next game needs to be a real strong base for games to come. There is definitely a couple of things a new Star Fox game could take from Starlink Battle for Atlas, but we'll have to wait and see if we get a new game in the coming years before we can really get stuck into the topic. Kid Icarus is a strange one on this list because, quite honestly, without research for this video, I'd not really heard of it and had only seen Pit, the game's main character, in Super Smash Bros. This is probably because in my lifetime, there has been only one Kid Icarus game, Kid Icarus Uprising, which came out on the Nintendo 3DS in 2012, and I didn't own one of those. There has, however, been another 2 Kid Icarus games, the first released in 1986 and the second in 1991. Though what actually got this game on this list is how cool it looks on the fan-made project shown off on the Game Explained channel a while ago. I'll leave a link in the description. Now, although this is quite a bit different from the actual games, it shows that there's plenty of potential to take the IP in a number of cool directions. If properly done, Kid Icarus on the Switch could be a really interesting action-adventure game with things like a nice world and story to explore, interesting fighting mechanics, and obviously flying mechanics. I'd certainly like to see Nintendo do something with this franchise at some point, but when/if that will happen, I don't know. Earlier I asked you what was Nintendo originally set up to trade back in 1889, and now it's time to reveal the answer. So, the answer is playing cards, or more specifically Hanafuda cards. I think I've pronounced that right. Obviously Nintendo has come a long way since then, but if you want to learn more about Nintendo's roots, I'll leave a couple of links in the description. Did you get that right? If so, please do let me know in the comments, and maybe go out and reward yourself by buying yourself a jumbo jet or something like that. So there are our top 5 first-party Nintendo titles we still want to see come out on the Nintendo Switch. Please note they weren't in any particular order, they're just our top 5. However, there are plenty more games and titles like these that could have certainly made the list. Arguably, if we're including games with ports already on the Switch, or coming up, we could have talked about a new 2D Mario. Do you agree with our list though? Make sure you let us know your top 5 in the comments, or maybe even just 1 or 2 games you think should have made this list. Also, remember to subscribe for weekly Nintendo videos like this every Wednesday at 7 PM UK time, other gaming content across a number of platforms, and thoughts on new information, reviews, and just news surrounding upcoming games. Finally, please go ahead and smash that like button if you have enjoyed, it really helps us out, and share this with a friend so you can prove there's plenty more big titles still to come. Thanks to James for helping me write this script, and thank you for your time today. I hope to see you in another video soon.